everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lygia here with your full moon reading for September 7th or 8th, depending upon where you are in the universe. And it is in Pisces, so very dreamy, very reality oriented, so that we're building our reality. And I have to say, I'm involved with the Galaxy Psychic Fairs again. I'm on tour basically. We started the tour yesterday, which doing this, it was September 4th. And so most of my decks are actually there. So in any case, I am kind of using my own sample deck and just a couple other decks that I actually have that are pertinent for this time. And wow, what a time it is. We are in a state of like major upgrades. So the energy is very high. It is continuing to rise throughout the entire rest of the year and probably into the new year. And as they rise, you'll notice the way you feel is different. It's like you feel off, or you might feel vibratory different. You might be vibrating. You might be feeling tingly all over. These are physical sensations. The other thing too, though, is the spiritual side of things that's coming up. It is going to be off the charts, and it looks different for everyone. So in this case, at the moment, what I'm feeling, and maybe you can relate, is feeling like there's stuff going on. It's like static everywhere around you, and you're trying to navigate through the static, and it's like trying to sleep is like a legacy right now. It's very difficult to try and sleep. Plus my mind is on the tour as well, but at the same time, it's just been crazy. It's just been feeling like I'm just off. So hopefully this is kind of resonating with you, and note that this feeling will probably start to iron out, plateau a little bit, probably within probably after October. So that said, there's probably a lot more that's going to be going on within us. And in that state too, our DNA is releasing a lot of wisdom, and a lot of abundance is going to come from that, just because we have now, we have the opportunity to be clear on what it is that we are doing in our lives, what has happened in our lives, what has happened in history, how we relate to our ancestral heritage, and a lot more answered questions that are not actually going to be coming out in the media, or if you look online and you're trying to find the answers will be from within, and you will know because your intuition will guide you. And if you listen to your intuition, that is even that much better. So having said that, I have picked out the cards. I've got, again, just take note that I have sample on it. I have my card deck, so the Take Back Your Power Oracle Guidance cards. I also have chosen from the Starcodes Astro Oracle by Roan Robbins, so that's the other one that we're doing. One card in each. And the last one, the tried and true Yasmin Boland's Moonology deck. But this one is the Messages deck. So let's go into that. I've actually chosen the cards, but I haven't looked at them. And I thought maybe let's get them together. So the first one we have is childhood. So this is coming back to that feeling of innocence. So we are in the stage where our divinity is moving up and up and up. It's allowing us to move up and up and up as a soul. And that said, we're going to feel like it's brand new, like we're seeing things from the eyes of a child. More the inexperienced child. So having said that, this is more also giving the opportunity to look back in our childhood and note that wherever we want to kind of let go of things, clear them out, and just kind of let go of some of the pre-programming that might have happened as well from our parents or grandparents or anybody from beyond. Let that go. Bless them. Give them gratitude for bringing you up in the way that they know how. That might be wonderfully or erroneously, but that said, just thank them, because they're ancestors. They're doing the best that they possibly can, your mother, your father, and move on. Close that chapter. The childhood part of you right now is something to look fondly upon if you're able to. Look at the lessons that you have learned. Now, some people, and this card is actually mentioning about this too, is the fact that some people have gone through some very difficult childhoods, and it's not, it's not looking at that and minimizing that at all. But what this is saying is, in that childhood, in those difficult, traumatic situations, there is something there as a lesson to learn. Not a lesson for like in a bad way. It's just a lesson there that is something for you to learn, for you to take with you on your journey, on this life purpose journey. So that is something that is coming up for you to be able to look at. Now, having said that, this is still closing the chapter on these. So it means learn the lesson, recognize if there's a fear-based underlying emotion or emotions that are accompanying that, and do the best you possibly can to let that go internally, intentionally. Now, if you need support or help, absolutely go there. Because what is going to happen is once you let go of that energy that is stuck, or that could be traumatizing you and blocking the energy that's flowing, you're going to be moving on, holding space for something absolutely fabulous to come in. The upgrades that we are getting are coming in from the central sun. Now, great central sun basically is all about spiritual development. And in this time period, we are jettisoning. Like I can't even verbalize it how much we're actually growing. So in that case, and everybody is learning at a different rate, but at the same time, each and every one of us is growing, including all kingdoms, all sentient beings, plants, animals, the rock and mineral kingdoms. So you're going to be starting to recognize even that much more balance with them, having them talk with you. The veil, as we call it, is thinning even that much more, where at a certain point it's just going to eliminate, and we're going to be able to talk to and feel the presence of our ancestors or the people that have crossed over, loved ones that we want to talk with. There's a lot of that is sequentially going to be happening. Now, taking the time to relish in that childhood, and also just know that innocence, there's the reason why there's innocence at that point. Some people have lost innocence in that point and in that time of childhood. And in this case, it is difficult, understood. The trauma has been there, but this is the time to get support, to let that go, so that the goodness, the absolute amazingness can come in. And you're going to be seeing some new things, new spiritual gifts coming into your life. Awarenesses, being sensitive to other things or differences. Maybe some people actually being sensitive to animal communication or plant communication or rock and mineral communication. This is coming up more and more throughout the next few months. But it's also intensifying because we're at an eclipse as well. We've got a full moon eclipse happening in Pisces, and this is incredible. That it's also a blood moon too. So this is something that the blood moon is just it's what we see is basically, it looks like very, very pink or very reddish moon, and it intensifies that much more of the energies that are there. So you might have been feeling this actually a week ago, but at this point, this is also allowing you to clear the old, bring in the new. Okay, let's move on. We've got the Astro codes, and it's Mercury messages. So we know what Mercury is like when it's in retrograde. There's a lot of internal retrospection that we are going through at that time. Sometimes, our electronics are not working as well. Magnetically, we are also changing and upgrading in different ways. However, the messages that Mercury has it's more, again, internal, and we're getting a lot of internal messages at this time too as we're upgrading. So in that case, I'm going to read this because I do feel that there's also some good messages in here that you might actually get from as well. So Mercury symbolizes your mental switchboard, how you think, communicate, and move through the world. The smallest planet rules Gemini and Virgo and is closest to the sun, completing its orbit in about 88 Earth days. So when it comes around, it's not so much rare because it does happen, the retrograde movement or so forth, but basically you feel it, and you feel it more each time it comes around. Because it orbits so close, it can only be found in the same sign as the sun, the one before it or one after it. Mercury has a large, dense molten core, and one day on the planet takes 58 Earth days. Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year for 3 weeks, and that's why it's so introspective, slowing time so you can remember, review, and reconnect. So what does this mean? This means communicate, and this is all about communication. You know how when it's in retrograde, communications are not exactly potent, or they are interrupted in certain ways, like electronically. The mood is quick, fast, and cerebral. Look at the situation from many different sides. Be light on your feet and make sure that you have all the information you need. And if not, be ready to research, investigate, translate, mediate, check your facts, and learn. Follow up on all lines of communication to make sure others understood what you said and you understand what they intended. Publish, broadcast, network, and engage social media. This is another opportunity. So if you're connecting, this is a good time to connect in social media. Make the call, submit the resume, send the manuscript. Check all Mercury-ruled equipment such as vehicles and communication electronics, just to make sure. Proofread and back up your files. Mythological Mercury could be a trickster when he worked for himself, but he also played the role of psychopomp. Psychopomp. Lovely. Diving into the underworld to escort trapped spirits out of it. If you need to go down into your own personal underworld, and this is that introspection and deepness, deep clearing, it may be time to walk with a therapist, shamanic healer, or other integrous or energy guides into the deep realms. And so what I see is this is basically about messages that are coming in and then going out. We're also feeling that wisdom coming out from our DNA, being released from our DNA. So the messages that we're getting are going to be pure and from the divine. And when you're speaking with others, just your mind might be going like a mile a minute, like me trying to talk to you, because I'm going a mile a minute. And just be careful, be mindful of your words just before you say them. And that will really help quite a bit, because your intuition is starting to build. So your intuition, your heart, your divine being soul that's within you is going to help in getting that communication out. And also intend that the communications that you are engaging in, whether it is written on social media or to anyone else, and verbal, is going to come out in the intention that you wish. Okay, so let's look at the last one. The Moonology messages. Reach for the moon, go for it. Okay, so this is action. This is getting into the swing of things, and basically do what you need, because you're going to be called to do even more. So this is go for it. Do something, whatever it is that you've thought that you've kind of put on the back burner for a while, or you haven't actually gone with the flow when it comes to your passions and doing your passions. This, when it says reach for the moon, it means do what really makes you happy. Do the things that you love to do and just go for it, because it's going to be successful. At this point, we're walking into success, because there are a lot of planets. There are a couple planets that are in retrograde, but we're also going in a more forward movement as a humanity starts to upgrade. And with that, there is no there's no room for going into something that you don't like to do, to being to wasting time in your life. In this case, this is about action, doing things that you love for yourself and for others, as being the integral goal, as being of service to others, but in the capacity that you put yourself first. If you need to have self-care to do that, absolutely. Put yourself first in that position. Recognize that the self, yourself, needs care and love, and then recognize that love will actually expand to others. When you do that, you are assured success, because we are supposed to be successful beings. So that said, always change your perspective if you're into that stage of lack or feeling like you can't do it. No, you can. This is what we are here to do. We are here to move and shake this world so that it turns into a world that we really want to live in. And that is one of balance, harmony, there's compassion and love and gentleness, and a frequency that is rising even that much more. We will be encouraged to walk with that rise. So that said, there's no room to be in, somewhere else that our mentally we're in, one of the lower forms of vibration. Otherwise, you end up feeling a mental health issue. In this case, allow spirit to help you along that vibrational path, and you will succeed in everything that you do. And mark my words on that, that will happen. Okay, so having said that, I hope this helped. I hope that you had that you do have a wonderful moon or full moon in Pisces, and dream. do your dreams, do everything that you're able to, because it's worth it. You'll never work a day in your life if you actually do something that you love, right? So something else I wanted to mention too, I am on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram at Take Back Your Power Oracle, and sign up. Just follow me there. I have a card of the day. At the moment, I'm at the Galaxy Psychic Fairs. I'm actually doing a little bit more, just kind of showing you what's going on there, but also a card of the day that goes with it. And like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. So I hope this helps, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.